What's up, everybody? In this video, I'm going to be showing you a few different automations that solved a really big problem that I was facing within my agency. As you can see, on April 2nd, I didn't send any emails. And the reason for that is because I forgot to add leads to my campaigns. And so I ended up having to work overtime just to find the leads, validate their contact information, create the copy, add them to Smartlead, and only a few days later, I was right back to where I started. And so in this video, I'm going to be showcasing a bunch of different automations that have varying levels of difficulty. So regardless of whether you're a beginner or you're advanced, this is going to be a super valuable video for you. And so some of those earlier levels are going to look something like this, where we're being notified on a campaign by campaign basis how many leads are not started so that we know to add those leads. From there, we're going to be able to start aggregating all of those analytics so that we're notified on a client-by-client basis. Further than that, we're going to be able to start forecasting the sending capacity into the future so that at a glance, I'm able to see how many emails I'm sending on an individual campaign basis, and then I'm able to see how many leads we have within that campaign and how long they're going to last before I need to create a new lead list. What this is going to help us do is avoid things like this, since we've forecasted and we know what to expect in the future. Now, looking at the very first level, this is what it looks like. What it's going to be outputting is a message like this, and in fact, we're gonna run it and we're going to be receiving a message in just a second. Okay, so I guess 0 not started. This is outdated, by the way. The stats above, that's what it looks like. Oh, you know what is causing that? Is because I have the status is filtered by only the active campaigns. And so I'll actually explain what just happened here. So the very first thing we're doing is we're getting all of the campaigns that we have within Smartlead, and this is what it would output. It would output a bunch of different arrays with all of our campaigns. From there, we're going to have to iterate through all of those campaigns one by one, and then we're going to be filtering out the campaigns that we don't need. For example, we don't want to be notified for campaigns that are not active. We want like archived campaigns or paused campaigns. And actually, when we look at my Smartlead account, we're able to see that these ones have been paused, and that's the reason why I didn't get notified for them like I did here. Now, from there, we're going to be using this URL endpoint right here to get the analytics of the individual campaigns that we've just looked at. And so when looking at Afonto 1.3, we're able to see all of the analytics for that specific campaign, after which we're going to be using additional filters to check the leads not started. And if it's less than 500, you can make that number whatever you want. We're going to be converting that into a text which will be sent to Slack. This is what the text looks like, and this is what it outputs. Now, if you want to be notified in Gmail, Gmail uses HTML. And so you can research how to write HTML hyperlinks and then simply input that here. If you're using Slack, this is how you create a hyperlink, and that's what I've done here. And Slack uses Markdown format in case you're unaware. From there, I use this Slack module to send a message to this Slack channel, and this is what the message looks like. And this right here, by the way, is called an incoming webhook from Slack. And so you would simply need to set up an incoming webhook and use that request content that you've just seen. However, if you don't want to do it like that, you can also just use the built-in Slack module to create a message and then send it to whatever channel with whatever text. However, the reason I prefer to use the incoming webhook is because it posts it as a bot. So this is a bot, this is myself. The bot actually notifies you. And so if you're sending the email as Noel Mani Raguha from Noel Mani Raguha, you're not going to receive a notification. That's why I use a bot, so that I can get notified myself. And so moving forward to the following level, we would go to level 2. Level 2 does everything that level 1 does, but in this instance, we're going to be aggregating all of that data on a client by client basis. And so like I said, we get all the campaigns, iterate through them, exclude anything that's not active, and then we get all of the individual campaign analytics. And then from there, the main differences start to appear, which is we're grouping the analytics by the client ID. And so all of these different analytics, if they have the same client ID, we're going to be grouping them together. Once we've done that, we're going to be splitting that again so that we can start to look at the numbers a little bit more clearly. And does this have a filter? It does not. Once we've done that, we're going to be adding all of those individual numbers up together. And so, as I mentioned, we're grabbing a bunch of campaigns, grouping them by the clients, and then once we've grouped them by the clients, we're going to be adding all of the individual campaigns' numbers together. What that's going to output is something like this, where we know that Titan Trust, across all of their campaigns together, they have 0 not started. 55 knots across all of their campaigns not together, they have 0 not started. And that's what these few modules are doing, and this summarizing thing. And from there, we do the exact same thing as we did in level 1. Super, super simple, and then we get notified the exact same way as we did. Now, level 2.5 is not necessarily the exact same as the other ones. What this is showcasing is the fact that the very first 3 modules are the same regardless of whether you're in level 1 or level 2 or level 3. You're going to be using the exact same 3 modules. And so because you're using that, you already have this module that has displayed all of the analytics within the campaign. And so we already have all of the analytics. And so we don't just need to stop at leads not started. What this is showcasing is that you can use this automation to do a bunch of other things. And so in this scenario, we've implemented this to check for all of the bounces that we gather from the same module right here. I'm able to see the bounce count, and then I'm able to use the formula to determine what the bounce percentage is. This is the formula. And if it's above 3%, in this case, it's actually 1, but it would be here. If it's above 3%, I'm going to pause that campaign, and then I'm going to notify within Slack. And so this is an example of that. And you can do that on so many other levels, but I just wanted to showcase that this is not an automation that is a one-trick pony. You can do this, you can use this for many, many, many different things. Now, moving forward onto level 3, as I mentioned, this is going to be helping us forecast the sending capacity into the future on a campaign by campaign basis. And so all you need to do, it's super simple as well. You need to add it into your project management tool, into your Google Sheets, into your Airtable. I use ClickUp, whatever you use, it doesn't matter. But you're basically creating a brand new task or a brand new role, depending on what you're using. And the task name here is not relevant. The main thing that we're doing is we're changing this due date and we're changing the start date. And this due date is what helps us forecast the sending capacity into the future. And so this is a super simple formula, which is basically saying how many leads are not started divided by how many leads how many emails we're sending on a daily basis. Now, if you wanted to get a little bit more nuanced, which you certainly can, you can improve this analytic by perhaps saying something like, actually that's probably too advanced, but you just know that you can. If you have questions about that, message me and I'll explain, leave a comment and I'll explain it there. Now, that is level 3, which is forecasting the sending capacity 1 campaign at a time, and that is where I am right now. The next level above that is forecasting the sending capacity 1 client at a time. And so if you're someone who tends to run 4, 5, 6 campaigns at the exact same time for 1 client, this method right here is not going to be super relevant and helpful for you, because one campaign might have like 50 leads, it might have, another one might have 200, another one might have 60, 70. Like, what you're going to need to do is aggregate all of that into one client forecast. And it would basically function the same way, but that is what level 4 looks like. Level 5 is where you start to dynamically modify the sending capacity based on the forecast. And so, same example as before, you're running 5-6 campaigns for one client at the same time. Level 5 is going to allow you to change the sending capacity on a campaign by campaign basis. And so, if one campaign, for example, has 50 leads not started and another one has 200 leads not started, you might be able to change that to make this one 100 leads not started, and then this one 100 leads not started as well. The math is completely horrible right there, but I hope you get the idea. And so if you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. And if you'd like to see me build out the level 4, level 5 to show you how it's done, also leave a comment letting us know. But I hope this video was helpful, and I wish you a good rest of your day. Cheers!